Good evening, crafting friends. I'm Dorene Decibus from It Begins with Ink and Paper, and welcome to the 12 Days of Halloween. I think we're up to day 8 now. We just have 4 more nights after tonight. And tonight I am using the Pick of the Patch stamp set again, and I'll be using the punch that goes with it as well. So let me just get my computer showing that we are right where we're supposed to be. Let me just refresh my page. So let's take a look. Okay, it looks pretty good. Okay, so we're ready to start. So again, tonight I do have a little cheat sheet to use. I've already done my scoring and any cutting I've had to do for paper, but I will do the rest live. So I just wanted to let you know that that's been going on. So tonight I'm going to use the Pick of the Patch, and we're actually going to use that stamp as well, and we're going to be making a pumpkin card. So this is a good festive Halloween type card that could be used for someone who's a family, for niece, nephew, grandchild, any of that. So excuse me, so we are going to use the not the largest pumpkin, but we're going to use this medium pumpkin, and we're going to use the large pumpkin for the punch that we're going to use. So let me go over what we have. So I have a piece of pumpkin pie cardstock here that measures 3 inches by 10 inches, and I've already scored it at 5, and I've already embossed the front with the stripes folder. So let me just fold this in half. Make sure it's all lined up. It's okay if part of my embossing is on the back side of the card, because the back side is not going to be viewed in the card. So there we go with our piece of pumpkin pie that is embossed and folded. I embossed it with the stripes folder, so I'll just hold this up so that you can see the folder up close. It is a folder that will fit in the mini emboss machine, and it will also fit in the regular embossing machine, of course. So that I did previous. So now let's do a little bit of stamping and punching as I go through the rest of this. We need just a scrap of crumb cake. We're going to use that to punch 2 stems for the pumpkins that we're going to make. There's one, and let's just punch the other one. There we go. Then I am also going to be using my scrap of the Designer Series paper. This is just a scrap piece, and I'm going to be punching out the larger pumpkin with this. There we go. So I'm going to put that there, and we won't need this stem that I punched out. All right. And now we're going to do, and I'm just going to set that aside because we're done with that. And then I have a piece of scrap white, that basic white that we're going to punch. I'm going to stamp this in pumpkin pie. And I'm going to stamp this on the side of the cardstock so that I can punch it out of the punch a little easier. Let me just put that aside, and of course I dropped my cheat sheet. Let me grab that. So we'll punch this out. I just line it up where it looks good, and then just punch it out, and we'll put that over there. So we've got almost all of our stamping done, but we have all of our punching done. So the rest of the materials that you are going to need for this card, you're going to need another scrap of basic white so that you can die cut the circle from the stylish shapes. You're going to need 2 pieces of Them Bones Designer Series paper, and I'm using the this piece of Cajun Craze and this piece of the same pattern paper that I punched the pumpkin out of. So this piece is 2 3/4 by 4, and this piece is 5 1/4 by 4. We're going to need a piece of crumb cake that is 4 3/4 by 2 3/4. And then we need a piece of, this is Cajun Craze, that measures 4 1/4 by 11. I scored this at 5 1/2, so that this piece is 3 4 1/4. So we're not going to need this piece, so I'm just going to set it aside. So I'm going to start by folding this over. Got my little gift box sitting here from last night. Use my bone folder to crease it. And the first thing that I'm going to do is to take this piece of Designer Series paper, and I'm going to attach it right on the inside of the card. So this is a little different than I normally do in a card. So it is, let me see, my snail is right. My snail, I call it that all the time. My Stampin' Seal. So I'm going to just put some Stampin' Seal on the back. Normally I put a piece of white there to do my writing, but we're going to have room inside the piece of pumpkin pie to do our writing. So that is going to make it pretty easy. And let me just close this again. I think I forgot to say we needed a piece of white cardstock, 4 1/2 by 2 1/2 as well. So let me just cut that really quickly. I think that I forgot to add that. So let me just grab a piece of basic white cardstock out of my stash. There we go. And we'll just cut that piece because I actually want to put a piece of the of white inside. So, and we're going to layer it on that piece of crumb cake. So I'm going to need a piece of, I said it just a moment ago, 2 1/4 by 4 1/2. So let's just go to our 4 1/2 mark. There we go. And 1/4. Just double checking. 4 1/2 by, no, it's 2 1/2. Sorry about that. Okay, this is going to go inside our pumpkin pie cardstock. All right, so let's put this in. So we are going to be mounting this on this piece, and then this will go inside our pumpkin pie cardstock. But I want to do a little stamping on it first. So I'm going to stamp this with the larger pumpkin, and I'm going to stamp that in pumpkin pie. And I'm just going to put this on the inside of the card. There we go. And then to add some texture, I'm just going to cut out one more stem. So here we go. And I am just going to add a little piece of glue. Little dot of glue to add this to our pumpkin. Let me just make sure. There we go. So just a little droplet of glue. And I'm going to put that right on the top of the pumpkin. And then just wipe up any of the extra glue because I don't want it to stick to the outer layer. All right. So now I'll take my Stampin' Seal again, and I'm just going to put that on this side, and that's going to go on this piece. And I'm going to let that glue dry before I put this into the pumpkin. This piece of Designer Series paper is going to go right on the front of the card. So let's add that. There we go. And now we can start putting this together. So this is going to go on the inside of our card. And it's going to go, you can see it fits pretty closely. I want it centered up and down, but I want it centered on this piece of paper. So I'm going to add my Stampin' Seal. You can just put a little extra on because this is going to be the folding piece of the card. What I want to make sure when I put this on is that the crease or the fold is over here on the right hand side of the card. So let's just get this lined up. There we go. So it's going to open kind of backwards. And then I am going to take this. It looks like our glue is all dried up. And I'm going to add this to the inside. So it gives you a little extra space to write your message. And if I needed to, I could put a piece of basic white cardstock there to match. Now, when this closes, this is going to close on it's going to close on the inside, and then I am going to be adding the this to the front of our card. So when we open it, it's going to open like this and then like this to make it kind of a fun fold. So on my tag, I'm going to first stamp at the top of my tag the greeting, which is you're the pick of the patch. So let me just grab that out and we'll put it on a base. Let's put it right here. And I am going to use Cajun Craze for this one. So I'm just going to ink this up with the Cajun Craze, and I am going to stamp this right towards the top of the circle. Now all of our stamping is done for the night. So again, I just want to remind you, if you're joining me live tonight, to please say hello in the chat, and make sure you tell me where you're watching from. Okay, so here we go. Now I'm going to put together my pumpkins. So I'm going to add just a little bit of glue. Let's see, I've got my two pumpkins here. I'm going to add just a little glue dot to the bottom of each of these. A little more than that. There we go. And where's that? So I'm going to add the stem to the larger pumpkin and then to the smaller pumpkin. I could, if I wanted to, I could stamp on either of these the pumpkin face that comes with this set. But since I'm planning to use this one for my older nieces and nephews, I'm going to just leave it like this. And so now I'm going to put this together. I am going to just move that stem just a little bit off to the side. So I'm going to put this pumpkin not quite centered, but it's just going to go onto the card base. So it's going to be a little bit over to the left. So like I said, not quite centered. And though I want the pumpkin to be centered. And then I'm going to attach the smaller pumpkin with some dimensionals. So let me just get my dimensionals out. We only need a couple for this. And then this one, oops, let's get that dimensional piece off, is going to sit just a little bit over the larger pumpkin. There we go. So that's what our tag is going to look like. And then when I attach this, I'm going to make sure I'm only putting adhesive on one side so that it's only going to adhere on that one side. And then what I'm going to do is line this up so that it's even with the front. And then I can pick it up and open up my card like that into a regular envelope. And it should be, you shouldn't need extra postage with this. It should be fine. So now we're going to put some bling on our, so let me just choose which bling I'm going to use. We're going to use the ones we've been using earlier this week. This is the adhesive backed sparkle gems. So let's get these out. And I think instead of using, we've been using the black, I think I'm going to go with the kind of goldish copperish color. And we are going to put these onto the front of the tag. So I'm going to put one here. Let me move that. I'm going to put the bigger one on the other side. There we go. I'll put the big one there, and I want to put the two smaller ones side by side. So right on either the top, and there we go. There we go. And now let's get a little twine or ribbon. Let's see what we have over here in my dish. Because I think I want to finish it off with some kind of bow. So let's take some of that. This matches the crumb cake. So I'm just going to take this, unravel a little bit. I'm going to make a double bow. So I'm just going to tie the bow right on the spool of ribbon. That way I don't waste as much. Pull that in. Let's get it even. And pull these out as well. There we go. I think that looks good. And now I'm just going to take my snips and those ends off. There we go. And then we'll move this out of the way, and we will get a glue dot. And I think I'm going to put this right at the top of the pumpkin. So let's add a glue dot to this. And then we'll take it off and put it right here. And that is the final card for tonight, day 8 of the 12 days of Halloween. So I hope you've enjoyed this fun fold. So again, we're going to open up this way, and then we're going to open up this way. So we've got this like elongated card. Again, this is pumpkin pie, and I embossed it with the stripes and then added the 2 layers on the inside. I cut this piece off of the card and then added the label. You're the pick of the patch. So this is a great fallish Halloween card that you could wish your well wishes for Halloween to someone who's a little bit older. Well, thank you so much for joining me tonight. Again, please remember to say hello and tell me where you're watching from, whether you're live now or watching on the replay or watching the replay on YouTube on my It Begins with Ink and Paper channel there. Don't forget to like my page and follow me and subscribe to my YouTube channel. I will be back tomorrow night for our 9th day. I am making a, let's see, I'm going to be making another treat box, but I'm going to be using the dies in them bones and make it shaped like a gravestone, so it will be very ghoulish. So that I hope you join me for that treat box. And so I'll be back tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. I will also be going live. So I hope you enjoy the rest of your evening, and I will see you tomorrow. Good night, everybody.